Hi, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. My name's Ursi, and today I'm joined by my wonderful friend, Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy.
Hello. Hello.
Now, some of you may know Jimmy. He is the person who does daily remote energy healing sessions. And his email, I'm just going to say this out front. If you want to put the name of a person, a pet, or a place, you can send their name, city, state, and country outside the United States to this email address, Healing Saturdays, plural, 1121 at gmail.com. We'll put it in the little comment or box below, but just thought I'd say that ahead of time. So some of you are asking to get to know Jimmy a little bit more. And so in the spirit of this beautiful month of May, we've got Mother's Day. We just had Earth Day in April. But May is this time of spring. It's rebirth, it's rejuvenation. It's when the whole of nature just sings of rebirth. And so we thought, Jimmy and we thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to come on the playground and talk a little bit about the little people that we love so much, our pets, our puppies, our kitties, our rabbits. So here we're here to talk about the pets that are in our lives. What do you think about that, Jimmy? You just have
Right.
that strong connection?
Yeah, I think the dogs, the cat, they're amazing. It's our family. So extend it out even to the birds or the squirrels, the bunnies. I just feel a connection that they're all part of my family. So
Yeah, and I love how you phrase that. They're part of my family because, this idea of Mother's Day. If you're a male and it's Mother's Day and you are a pet owner, you're that nurturer. So it's not about just physical mothers, but it's taking care of our families, right, Jimmy? Like,
yeah,
now since I've known you, you've done some amazing things with finding birds that need a wing healed or bunnies that are hungry during the winter in North Dakota. The birds that you feed regularly. Do you have something you want to share about why you enjoy keeping an eye out for the injured animals or feeding the hungry?
it just it warms my heart. It's you go out and put the food out, and then it's gone the next day. You're helping them and making their life a little easier when the conditions are so harsh. Or even when it's not harsh, just watching like the squirrels eat, just how they grab the nut and run up the fence and sit there and hold it, and you know, and when you do it enough, then they get used to you, and then they're not frightened and they don't run away, and that's heartwarming too. So it's even the birds, So
In fact, I remember you telling me sometimes they wait for you.
yeah,
I mean, you've got them so that they know the time every day. And you have these rows of birds, right, that are kind of waiting on top of rooftops. Oh,
yeah.
where is he?
Those are the pigeons.
The pigeons.
Yeah.
But I find, because you inspired me, so I started feeding, our birds outside here in California. And there's something that happens when you see them eating. It's almost, there's this pecking order, certainly, but my heart just gets bigger. I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, look there's a yellow bird or a finch just came in. So I learned, like, they have their little personalities, don't they, Jimmy?
Oh, they do. It's pretty amazing.
So the
I
whole,
have a there's a bunny in the yard here, and it's kind of cute. It will turn around. It won't run away, but it'll turn around. So like the fact he's not looking at me, it's like I don't see him. And then I'm able to walk over and put the food out, and then he'll run. He'll come over and start eating. So
oh,
that's kind of
so 6 years ago, you helped me make a family decision. I've never had a dog of my own, and we were looking at trying to get a puppy for our daughter during her middle school years, especially when it's such a difficult time already. But a puppy in the house was recommended by one of the teachers. So I talked with you about it. I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's such a big commitment. And yet, in the last 6 years, a second puppy has come in, and I can't imagine life before Teddy Bear and Sophie Bear.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're amazing.
it's work, let me tell you. But I've never have been outside in the park as every day as much as I have. It does connect you with nature, doesn't it? Just feeding the birds and having animals.
It does, yeah.
I know, here it is 2022, and I live very close to Silicon Valley. So the idea of the mechanized world, robotics, computers, cell phones, social media, and yet when you have an animal in the house or you start feeding the animals outside, it's this drawing you back into remembering we're part of it, right? We're part of this beautiful nature.
In fact, I think that's actually more important, that part of life. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, doggies are like little children. In fact, Jimmy, before we go further, I did call in some animal cards that
Okay.
we can share with others so that they can see who's joining us. Here we go. Here's our first little animal joining us. It's Dog Spirit. Can you see that okay, Jimmy?
I can.
Yeah, it's number 19. And the message from Dog Spirit is be loyal to what you love. Be loyal
I
to
love
what you love.
I love that message.
Yeah, does that resonate?
It does.
I mean, look at those eyes. A dog's eyes, all they want is to just give us love, right? It's phenomenal. They're like these little babies. Look at that face.
Although if you connect with animal communicators, they are fully conscious and they have a lot to tell us. So,
Right. And since you opened that door to the woo-woo world, I've heard that dog spirit comes from the angelic kingdom, that they really
oh
have,
really?
yeah, this resonant frequency, that they're really like little angels coming up right upside us to help support and buoy, the joy, the love. So it's really hard to understand how anyone could mistreat such a beautiful animal like a dog, you know. But then
Or
the
actually,
other,
or any animal,
or any
I
animal.
mean,
You're right. And so joining dog spirit for the cat lovers, here's cat spirit number 13 with the message, claim your independence. Claim your independence from cat spirit. Now,
that's very cool.
I don't know about you, but I've had cats just about like growing up. All my life, there's always been a cat. Every child I think has had a cat, and cats are just so much easier from a practical way of living. You put the food and the water, and they're very independent. Whereas dogs are always looking at you like, "Where's my next treat?" you know, or, or where are we going next? Are we going to the park yet? So it's fun to have dog and cat spirit join us. Have you had a cat, Jimmy?
I have, yeah, when I was in college.
What was your kitty's name?
Toddy. She was a gift to me from my sister.
Oh,
She was sort of a one-person cat, so.
well, maybe that's why I claim your independence. So, and cats, look at this one's got little angel wings on it, right? So, okay, kitty and puppy, we're going to say you're with the angelic kingdom, but I just had to bring this one in for us, Jimmy, because it makes me so
Oh,
happy.
cool.
Yes, and we're using Colette Baron Reed's Spirit Animal Oracle deck to share with you these images. But I don't know, when I see dolphin spirit, I think of you right away. In fact, look at you, you're kind of wearing that purple shirt, and dolphins messages, This and that are true. Wee! This is a pure joy of dolphin.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to stop sharing here, but wow, when we think about our animals, how blessed a life we have. It's so much fuller when we engage with our, four-legged creatures. I don't know about snakes and beetles and stuff or lizards, but I know some people enjoy them. So I'm just going to say, okay, not for me, or turtles. So, Jimmy, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about healing and healing energy, since we've got you on the playground. Um, how is it that you're able to offer daily healing sessions? I mean, is this something that is something I just don't know. On my busy day, I can barely, remember, oh yeah, breakfast. I'll remember dinner, but how is it that you're able to do the healing sessions daily typically?
It's just part of my day. Um, I'm not even sure what the word would be for it, but yeah. So,
Well, if I could say part of your day that I know about too is feeding these animals. I mean,
yeah.
you've always got your eye open for, okay, do we have enough bird food? And then putting the food out. The bunnies, you'll go in the middle of a blizzard sometimes and go gotta feed the bunnies. And then when spring comes, you delight in counting them, right? Like it's almost like they
Yeah.
they see you. Well, here's another question then. For the Healing Saturdays list, we put a call out for people to add the name of their people, pets, or places. What would you suggest as far as people's pets and what you've found to be true with the healing energy?
Well, if someone has a dog that's injured or a cat or maybe even possibly transitioning, um, to feel free to email me and I'll add them to the list. With the transition, hopefully the energy would maybe make it easier for them. But some of the pets have received healing. So, like I said, it's not me that's doing the work. It's like I'm just a channel for the energy that's coming through. So,
It's phenomenal. And I have read many times how pets will oftentimes take on the energy of a home or their master and
or
take
they'll
that energy on. Or what?
or they'll take on the disease.
They'll take on. Have you
So,
seen that?
what's that?
Have you seen that before?
I've heard of it. Yeah, where someone's sick and then they get well, but their animal then has that. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting you say that because now you're reminding me the difference of dogs and cats. Like dogs will typically take on the owner's, whatever's coming in, and it's not necessarily just physical, right? It can be emotional.
Yeah. But I think cats also do that too, and cats also can be. I think cats kind of balance energies or absorb energies, and then kind of. So I might not be saying it quite right, but
No, I think you're 100% spot on. I took a class with Robert Gilbert. He's a vibrational science expert who's recently been on Gaia TV. And I remember him talking about how just watch where cats like to go sleep outside. They'll find typically the spots where the negative ley lines will meet or the negative energies so that they can absorb and transmute.
um,
And that's part of the gift they're offering on the planet. So it's interesting. I'm watching where my cats like to go. And it's like, okay, thank you for your service. Had no idea. We just see you sleeping all day.
and they're working. So
They're working, right? And different roles, right? Again, the dogs, the loyalty, right? They're always near us or part of the pack or waiting for us. So, one of the diseases in our 2022 is this idea of isolation and depression. and how much, when you say yes to bringing an animal into your home, how much they can actually shift the energy, right?
Oh, exactly. It's amazing.
So if you, I'll just share with the listeners, if you decide to add your pet's name to Jimmy's list, it doesn't have to be for necessarily physical issues. It could be for if they're taking on any mental or psychological things happening in a house, especially if there's great transition, I would say, moving, divorce, or the passing of a loved one. So feel free to put your animal's name on. They're doing more than we can imagine. It's not like here's humans and then here's the animal kingdom. There really is more of this symbiosis, right, Jimmy? Like your background of the connected petals within the flower of life. It's like we're all connected on this earth. So let's talk about birds now. Talk to me about the birds and what have you noticed as far as like how do you find injured birds? Do you find them or do people call and tell you about them? Because somehow birds have come on your radar this year, especially.
I just come across them. So, yeah.
Hmm. And then you have
And then
yeah.
I met a gentleman in town. Um, so if I'm able to rescue the bird, he actually does rehabilitation. So he's been a great find.
Hmm.
So,
Well, that's another good reminder for me. If anyone is living in an area that's been unfortunately um, hit by fire or tornado, if you want to put that place or that location because the animals are in transition, add them to the list as well. Um, I just think that we are all in this together. We're living through lots of different changes, and healing isn't just for humans. And so it's like, how do we broaden our perspective of humans within the natural world?
that's beautiful.
And Jimmy, I was going to also ask you about one other thing, and then we'll kind of get to a close. But since I've known you, you've always redirected me whenever I've had a challenging thought or time or struggling with something in my life. You've always brought me back to one particular ancient medicine that is enormously healing, but it can be so simple that it's easy to overlook. And it's the medicine called HOHOPONOPONO. Remember that time I sang it for you and Robbie? Ho-ho, ho-ho, because I was born in Hawaii and it's ancient huna, so I figured, oh, ho-ho-pono-pono. But could you share with us what that means to you and what the phrase is that you actually say?
Well, it's just a simple prayer mantra. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, thank you. Repeat it over and over. The idea is it brings us back to a state of zero without judgment in situations. Um, each phrase in itself is incredibly powerful. Telling someone, I love you, or I'm sorry, or please forgive me. But the totality of it is incredibly powerful to transmute, to heal. Um, if I wake up in the morning and I start repeating it, I can actually feel my body shifting and relaxing. Um, Many years ago, my mind got laser focused, and I just kept repeating it to everything: people, signs, animals, cars, everything that came into my vision. And my mind kind of quieted down, and I just had sort of a spiritual awakening. And I just felt like I woke up after how many years of being alive. And I felt that was a gift through using that prayer. Um, it's healing. So,
And I know if people are interested, they can Google the word ho ho Ho'oponopono. And you're going to find many teachers talking about it, those 4 sentences. That was beautiful what you just said, my
Oh, is
friend.
it? Oh,
I love that. And it reminds me, getting back to, you said, to 0 or to neutral. So you don't necessarily, no matter what you're struggling with, let's just say if it's politics, right or left, you can hold the energy to try and imagine being in a central position, to neither engage with right or left, but try and go to the middle of the seesaw on the Ascension Playground. Remember the seesaw? So just try and get to the middle, whatever it is. Say, let's say you're in a fight with a family member, and you're sure that you've got this laundry list of like, and then they did this, and can you believe that, and XYZ. And just saying the issue does create a frequency of like chaotic churn. But if you decide to say the Ho'oponopono prayer, as Jimmy suggested, and we're talking about, it kind of, you're asking to just lift it off, take off the judgment, and just hold that still point. And so many people want to think about, how do I ascend? How do I get from 3D to 5D? Or how do I get to Maslow's hierarchy, right? Of the self-actualized self at the top of the pyramid. Well, Ho'oponopono is the fast track. It's basically cutting off the heavy baggage of negativity. And just for a moment, just letting yourself sit in the magic of those 4 sentences. Would you mind saying those for me again? Because sometimes the order, my mind gets a little scrambled.
well, I don't think the order matters. I think whatever resonates with you, but the way I just say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you.
Okay, so anyone hearing this, I would challenge you to consider going to a mirror, go to your bathroom mirror and look in the mirror into your eyes. And Jimmy, I'm going to stare into the mirror screen.
Okay.
Can you say those 4 sentences for me again?
I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And so that was brought through by, and I'm going to, hopefully I can say her name correctly, Morrnah Simeona. She was Hawaiian, and she developed it, self-identity through Ho'oponopono. So she's an amazing woman in spirit now, but yeah.
Well, as you're saying that, I'm hearing it goes all the way back to Lemuria, to the land of Mu. It's ancient huna. So sometimes things are forgotten and then they're brought back into our collective consciousness by someone like Morrnah or others. Yeah. So, well, Jimmy, thank you. And this month of May, may we all be blessed with healing, rebirth, Ho'oponopono. And if you have your puppy or kitty or bird or lizard or frog, or you don't have any and you want to just go outside and listen to the birds or watch the ants, we're all connected to the magnificence of Mother Earth. Any final things you'd like to add?
Just want to tell you thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you. Such a great service to offer healing every day for Central Standard Time. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jimmy, but 6:15 to 6:40. And so if you're able to sit down or lie down at that time and receive these types of healings with your name on the list, go ahead and come back and tell us if anything's happened, or if you've witnessed or felt any particular energy, or if whatever the issue was has shifted. So
Another reminder, I know people's lives are busy, but they can always ask to receive that session, the healing session, later when their time allows or when they lay down to sleep. So
good reminder. Okay, well, we hope everybody has a wonderful day, and thank you again for joining us on the Ascension Playground. Bye for now. Bye, Jimmy.
bye-bye.